Hello, hello. Wait, how do I shut this down? Ah, there we go. Much better. Sorry about that. That's always, tricky starting a live broadcast. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing good, I hope. Um, we are live. The Sunday night for me, little bit of live, jumping on the stream, time to talk about PSG. That's what we like to do. And we've got a game today as well. What's up? What's up? My man Adam is there. Yeah, I know, like, it's kind of the only time where I've got a chance to have, Asia late at night, Europe during the day, the US in the morning, kind of everyone is awake. If there's anyone following this channel from Hawaii, I'm sorry for you guys, but really cannot do anything about it at this point. But yeah, kind of a chill video. We've got PSG Brest later on today, so I'm gonna start by talking about this. Plus, we can talk about the latest like Champions League debrief from Bayern. Look forward on Arsenal, plus like some transfer rumors that have been popping up. So yeah, like interesting weekend. There's a Classico. The season is coming to an end. I'll start with that. It's our last game in the Parc des Princes for the season. And honestly, it's weird because like this season has been going on forever because it's been basically 2 seasons stayed together. There hasn't been a break, so it's been like 2 seasons. Hey, my man, Red Capuno, how you doing, man? So yeah, it's been like 2 seasons rolled up in one. At the same time, I don't know. It feels like it's been lasting forever, but also it's been like really, really quick. Like if I think of the first games we had in the Parc des Princes, which were basically like back when Joao Neves was scoring a hat trick with his overhead kicks and so on. I mean, it's long ago, but it's not that long ago. And so yeah, we're already at the end of the season. It's crazy. Um, the sad thing about it is that whatever happens, we know already we're not going to be officially champion today. And that's in a way kind of sad, in a way kind of good, because like it would have been nice to get the party in front of our fans. And I think for all of the subs who are going to start the game, would have been cool for them to be able to get the title. Obviously, like this season in Ligue 1, we've rotated a lot. There's a lot of subs who have been getting more game times and so-called starters from the Champions League team. So it'd be kind of nice for those guys to get the recognition, but Lens won on Friday against Nantes, and so we're only gonna be 6 points clear with 2 games to go. The goal difference is way in our favor anyway, so it's like if we win, we're essentially champion, but we're not gonna be officially. And the good reason for that, I guess, is that now we get to go to Lens, I think on Wednesday night, and yeah, like get the title there, get the title at their place after all of the nonsense that we had from them on postponing the game and so on. Yeah, kind of tempted to, we'll pull out the starting 11s, fresh off of Bayern, in Lens, and give them a little lesson and get the title while we're at it. I think like that sounds like a pretty good plan to me. So I'll be pretty excited with this. But anyway, like talking about this PSG Brest, the game of the day. Yeah, the first thing is that we're gonna have a lot of rotation. Obviously, we're 4 days after the Bayern Munich game. There's been a few injuries. There's players who are tired. So it's always, that little tricky game after a Champions League game. And there's a lot of uncertainty in terms of who's gonna play, who's not gonna play. Starting in goal. So supposedly Safonov, but apparently he's been feeling some pain, so could be rested, and we could see the second game of Renato Marin. So that one is very much unsure, and there's not a whole lot of information, but wouldn't be surprising to see Renato Marin start. Chevalier is of course injured, so it's Safonov or Marin really. Right side of defense, Hakimi is out, and Warren Zaire Emery is out as well. apparently picked up some pain to his back against Bayern Munich, so he's not part of the squad for this Brest game. So on the right side of defense, we should be expecting Mayulu to start, which the last game against Lorient, honestly, I really did not like Mayulu in this position. And I think it's got less to do with the player's skills and so on. It's just like it felt like he did not want to be there. And so he was sending a very clear message of I'm gonna do the absolute minimum that I can get away with. Just to show that I don't want to be in this position. Hopefully, Lucho would have set him straight. It feels that that's the kind of thing that Luis Enrique would not have liked at all. But yeah, that's kind of that's what's been going on. I'm sorry, reading the comments at the same time. Sorry, being MIA. Yeah, man, like I know I don't see you in the comments anymore, Red Capuno. I was like, whoa. Two finals back to back. I know, crazy, crazy. Any concerns that Arsenal will come into the let me do Brest first, and like then we can talk about Champions League for a bit, okay, guys? Like that sounds okay. No live watch long. No, sorry, man. Like it's the games honestly, like they are at 3 a.m. my time. So one, like I'll be honest, like a Brest game, I'm not even gonna get up for it. 3 a.m. is a pain in the ass. I'll just watch a replay first thing in the morning and kind of do my video after that. And even like the Champions League game, so like Bayern, obviously, like I get up for it 3 in the morning. I don't care. Like I want to watch the game. So those I get up, but honestly, doing a live stream and like putting together the excitement and the energy when it's 3 in the morning and everyone is sleeping in the house and so on, like yeah, it just doesn't work well for me. So that's why that's why on the channel I do more analysis. If you want like a live stream of games and so on, I know PSG in does it and does some really good ones, and there's a few others. But yeah, for me right now, it's just not really a possibility. I keep thinking about it for like when there's early game times. So when we have games around like 5 p.m. and so on, it becomes a little bit more doable. So Lorient, I really considered it, and then I was on the go at the time of the game. So not completely closed off in the future, but it would take some circumstances. Anyway, going back to the Brest game. So Mayulu is going to be at right back in the center of defense. Zabarny is back from being suspended, so Zabarny is definitely going to start. Pacho is injured as well following Bayern game, picked up a knock, so Pacho is out and not part of the squad. And so it feels like Beraldo is going to be starting in central defense. And so we have a central defense of Zabarny and Beraldo. Say what you want, not the strongest, and so on. Like, I mean, we can talk about till we blue in the face. It's funny because both players individually, they've got their ups and downs, and they've got their skills, they've got the things that we don't like about them. But I think when they play together, it's kind of always a fairly intriguing pairing. I think like they match well together. So we'll see what goes, but I'm gonna be optimistic about it. And then on the left, Nuno Mendes is gonna be rested as well, and so we're gonna have Hernandez playing the left back position. So that was the defense. In midfield, there's a few question marks as well in terms of fitness. I think personally, I'll give you my opinion. I think Vitinha is going to start because Vitinha is an absolute machine. He did not play against Florian, so he had the game last weekend off. And so even if he played 90 minutes against Bayern Munich, I think with 3 days in between, he can definitely play this one. And so I do see Vitinha starting. I think Kangin Lee could have a spot as well in midfield. And then the third spot, depending on his level of fitness, Fabian Ruiz could be playing or Dro could be getting the start. And I think for me, I will say like I've got a slight bias towards Fabian Ruiz. I think he got like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he got subbed off against Bayern around like 65th minute or something like this, like not super late into the game. He had a big one, obviously, and was a really demanding game and still ramping up on fitness. But I think he's a kind of player who kind of needs to get as much game time as he can in those last 3 Ligue 1 games. So wouldn't be surprised to see him get the start. And I think, thinking of thinking of a midfield of like Vitinha, Lee, and Dro honestly makes me nervous from a physicality perspective for a Ligue 1 game. It feels like we need a little bit more strength and yeah, a little bit more height, a little bit more muscle, and so on. And like Fabian Ruiz is not he's not Joao Neves, he's not Warren Zaire-Emery, but he packs a punch. So wouldn't be entirely surprised. And then in offense, Ramos, like Zabarni, back from being suspended, probably gets the start. Barcola, who was on the bench against Bayern, and even if he came on, like probably gets the start as well on the left. And so the question is really on the right, whether Doué is fit enough after getting subbed off as well against Bayern. Otherwise, it's gonna be Mbaye. And I think for me, like I've got a question mark, honestly. Uh, because Dembele came off against Bayern on the 60th minute, and so I don't know, he didn't look injured, but at the same time, like coming off the 60th, like he should be fit, right? So like everyone's saying Ramos, but it feels like Dembele should be fit for this one. So I hope we at least see him come on the pitch for the last 30 minutes if he doesn't start. Doesn't look likely that he'll start, but yeah, like I'll have to keep an eye on this one. So essentially, that's what we're looking at. Brest, I'm not gonna go through like their starting 11, but essentially like they've got a lot of players missing in defense in particular. So yeah, they're playing some substitutes there. They still have Ajork up front, who they have really like meaty, big striker kind of guy. So that's gonna be an interesting one against Zabarni. They've got Doumbia behind him, who's always interesting. Del Castillo is always a good player. Magneti Shota in defensive midfield, it's a decently good pairing. But yeah, their defense is looking little bit of a disaster zone. So yeah, we'll see. They're not really playing for anything, Brest, anymore. They're done. They're gonna be middle of the table. They don't really have much of anything going on. So yeah, like should be a good game for us. Honestly, like should be a really like it's not gonna be a comfortable win because when you're rotating so much and you're coming off of a Champions League semi-final, it's never that easy to get back into it. But honestly, like last game in the park, it's also like it's the 10-year anniversary of the group of ultras, the Collective Ultra Paris, the CUP. It was their 10-year anniversary yesterday, so like they're planning some big stuff going on in the Parc des Princes for this game. So there's gonna be atmosphere, there's gonna be fans. Last game of the season at home. Yeah, like there's gonna be something in the air. So hopefully it's enough to get the players going. You know, you never quite know how those games are gonna turn off, but I think on paper we've got way enough quality to see of this Brest team get the win, put ourselves in a situation of really like being very very comfortable versus Lens in the next game. Brest concedes. Brest, not that kind of Brest, by the way, but we love both of them. Brest concedes like 20 goals since 2025 against PSG, 7-0 in the Champions League playoff. Yeah, well, past last year, Champions League as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, for sure, you're right. I think like honestly, I'm less concerned about the Brest side of this game. I think whatever they do, it really depends on what we do. If we put in a bit of effort, if we put in a job, if the substitutes really like get going, yeah, we're gonna get the win. No drama about it. Like mid-table Ligue 1 team at our place, not worried about that. It's really about will the PSG player put up the effort to like do enough to get the win, which I think they should. Honestly, I think they should. So that's kind of where I stand on this Brest game. If I have a prediction to make, honestly, I would say like a very easy 3-0. Kind of no drama. No, they're not fighting relegation. They're like really middle of the table, nothing to play for, nothing to play against. Relegation is like almost closed off anyway. Like not got officially relegated by losing against Lens on Friday. So I think it's gonna be. So Nantes is relegated. Metz is also like already relegated. And Auxerre is looking like pretty certain to be playing the playoffs against League Two team. So that part is essentially decided. And if not Auxerre, I guess Nice, Le Havre could be dragged in, but yeah, like essentially like Auxerre's got his 3 points back from Nice and 4 from Le Havre with 2 games to go. So it feels like Auxerre is pretty clearly gonna end up in that position. Brest, they're in 12th place. They're 10 points clear of Auxerre. Yeah, it's a done deal for them. So they're good. They're right behind Paris FC to give you a sense. Between Paris FC and Angers, that's the kind of team that we're talking about. So yeah, nothing to play for them. And no, we cannot win the title. I mean, like we can and we can't because like if we win, we're 6 points clear of Lens with 2 games to go. So that should be nearly enough. But we've got a goal difference where we are already before this game at plus 14. So if we win, it would be at least plus 15. So Lens would have to win their last 2 games, including the game against us, and win both of them by really significant margin, so they can get like a 15 goals difference back in 2 games. So yeah, I mean, if we win, we're as good as champion already. Lens is saying like the chase of the title is over. The last day we're playing Paris FC when they're playing Lyon, so yeah, I'm honestly like really not worried, but I think it'd be nice to get the win to like try to make it official as soon as possible. But we won't be officially champion on this game. If Lens didn't win, but Barcelona would be listing titles at the same time, but Barcelona with the El Clasico and PSG. Uh, yeah, I mean, so I don't know, like, Adam, did you have time to see like the video I did yesterday on Real Madrid? But yeah, like the drama there is just insane. Like, go check it out. It's both funny and like horrible for them in a way, but like yeah, pretty much laughing. First time since 2023 the title race has been closed for PSG. You think? Let's see what I think. So yeah, anyway, like Ligue 1 is coming to a close. We're gonna be champion. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Unless like literally an earth-shattering series of events comes about, we're gonna be on right. So yeah. Yeah, like I've seen people talk about that, like Red Capuno. So like I've seen people say like, maybe like we get the title on the last day against Paris FC, and then we walk back to the Parc des Princes to do the celebrations. I think like they'll probably do the same as last year. They'll wait until after the Champions League final to do a big thing in the Parc des Princes, and hopefully with a couple of trophies there. But yeah, it's entirely possible as well. Be quite funny. Mbappe drama is so 2 minutes because I had to do something. Yeah, it's madness. This Classico is going to be interesting though. I mean, it's not really like for the sport element of it, really not that interesting is my perspective. Because I think like Barcelona is going to be champion, and honestly, like I think they play well, but I don't really rank them. I think like Barcelona right now, they're like probably like between top 5 and top 10 teams in Europe, which is not very high for a Spanish champion. I think they just have too many gaps and too many players that aren't at the level. So they're gonna beat Madrid because Madrid is really nowhere to be seen, and like the drama in the locker room. But yeah, it's not really gonna be like in my mind, it's not gonna be a super interesting game. So we'll see. What was I gonna do? Champions League. So let's talk Champions League. Alors, let me go back. I saw a couple of questions on this earlier. What did we have? Arsenal playing West Ham. Yes, in the London Derby. I'm honestly very curious to see the next few games of Arsenal. because I think like I'm curious to see if qualifying for the final gives them that little bit of mental confidence to get back into gear. And like people have been asking me about like, oh, start giving predictions of the Champions League final and who do you think is gonna win and how do it's gonna go and so on. And I find it really hard right now because I don't know what Arsenal team we're going to be playing against. And I think that ties back into another question that I saw, which was really about like, do I have any concerns that Arsenal will come into the final like we did last year? So like super, super hungry. And yeah, like honestly, yes, I am a little bit. And like, I think we have to be uh, confident, obviously, because I back PSG, and I think we're favorites, and I think it's well deserved, and I've got like no question in my mind that we should be winning it. Um, and I don't mean we will. I'm just saying like we should really like we've got the talent on paper, but I really don't like the sort of narrative that's surrounding this Arsenal team. So on one end, like they're really not playing well and it's not a nice team and so on, and like PSG is so like the uber favorite at this point. Uh, Arsenal is a strong team. You might not like their football, but look at all of the players, look at the results that they've had this season. Yes, they've had like the past few weeks they faltered a little, but if they get back into some sort of like next level gear, yes, the Arsenal of the first half of the season, man, like that was not an easy team to play against. And if you look back, they finished the group stage of the Champions League unbeaten. They get the win against Bayern Munich. Yes, they faced some easy teams throughout the competition, but in England, they've got a pretty good chance of taking the Premier League. They've got good players in every line, and they've got some qualities which don't really play to our strengths. So yes, I back us. Yes, I think we've got the experience, we've got the better coach, we've got better players in places, but I like I really have problems with people going like, oh, done deal, done deal, done and dusted. PSG is gonna get it. PSG is so much better. Did you see PSG against Bayern? So good. When Arsenal, it's so defensive. Bleh, we don't like. Yeah, it really like I don't like it at all. Yeah, we walked into the same trap for the Club World Cup final. Exactly. And like the good thing is that I don't think the players take it easy. I don't think Luis Enrique takes it easy. I think it's just like the media noise around it. But I think as fans, we have to be very careful as well. I know like the Arsenal fan base can be difficult to deal with. I know there's going to be chatter, and I know like especially for us who are fans of PSG speaking in English, we live in a very, very different kind of media universe than the one I see in France. Let me tell you that in France, the media is saying that PSG is the favorite, but there's no early triumph, there's no taking it over the top just yet, and the PSG fans, at every turn, like as far as they've seen, everyone is saying like, yeah, sure, we're favorites, but we need to be very careful, we need to be very serious, and it's going to be a very hard game. And the Bayern game, it was not an early final, it was a semi-final. Now it's the final. Now it's the final, and the final is going to be a really, really tough game. So we've got to be mindful of this, and so that's why I'm really curious to see how this Arsenal team performs their last three games, and whether they manage to find back some sort of form that they had early in the season. All the Arsenal haters, they don't want to see Arsenal lift. Yeah. Like literally, like 95% of England is supporting PSG. It's so weird. Like we've kicked all of their asses and like destroyed all of their teams, and now they're all supporting us. Like seriously, like it's so funny. And like at the same time posting tweets about complaining that PSG has been able to rotate and raise their team because Ligue 1 games are getting postponed. It's like nonsense. It's not going to be like Inter Milan because I thought Inter Milan was going to give PSG a lot of problems. Like, yeah, and at the same time, completely right. Completely right. I thought the same thing. Like going into the final last season, I was like confident because I think the energy around PSG was really giving off the right vibe. And like it's funny if you it was really like the early days of the channel, so like the videos are still like they're still online, but if you go back to the preview of the Champions League finals that I did last year, I remember saying, because like that was one of my early big calls that I really liked. I remember saying in the preview, quote unquote, like there's a word in which the final goes well for us, we score an early goal, things start going our way, and like then it could be a feast, and it's exactly what happened. So we'll see. I've got the same thing of like, yeah, maybe like, Arsenal, like Inter Milan last year, it's not the kind of team you want to play against, and so on. And then we'll see what happens in the end. All Tottenham fans, Chelsea fans. Yeah, I know. So I pinged Matt, like the Stamford thing guys that like I've done the Chelsea preview with. Who's like, he's a really fun guy. I really enjoy like the banter with him. So I've pinged him and like trying to see like, hey, who do you think, like, are there any good Arsenal YouTubers that I should speak with, and so on. So we'll see what he says, but all of a sudden, yeah, all of the folks are all pro PSG. Visca Barça, yeah, well, you're gonna be champion, man. So like, don't push it, This is still a PSG channel, so yeah, I hate PSG, but I like Luis Enrique. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't push it. Remember Flamingo nearly did the upset against PSG back in December and the Intercontinental. Yeah, like, yes. I mean, it was a different time for us. Let's be real. Like, I think if we played them right now, it'd be very, very different. But yes, like, we've got to take things seriously. Big up Yusuf, who is injured tonight. So injured tonight, you can go back because I did like the starting 11, but essentially we're missing Warren Zaire-Emery, we're missing Pacho, we're missing like Nuno Mendes, Joao Neves gonna get rested, Dembele is gonna get rested, and Safonov is a question mark. So it's looking like a lineup of Safonov or Renato Marin, Mayulu, Zabarni, Beraldo, Hernandez. I was saying probably Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, Kangin Lee in midfield, and then Doué or Mbaye along with Ramos and Barcola up front. So yeah. Arsenal gets rattled like they did in the Carabao Cup. Yes, so that's where like I've got hope in a way. Is that honestly I don't like dislike him as much as a lot of people do, but I've got to say that Arteta feels like he's a specialist of not really handling this sort of moment right. Not saying the right things at the right times, not pushing his players in the right way. And I think the Carabao Cup, when a team goes into a final, whatever final it might be, and you look at this Arsenal team and they just like, it's not that they had a bad game, it's that they didn't even play the game. And so I think when it's to that level, it's on the coach, and that's my read of it. And if you think of the semi-final last year with us in the Champions League, like, remember how like Arteta was like literally was kind of cringe. He was coming at his fans and like, oh yeah, like, we've got to there's got to be a big atmosphere in the Emirates and people have to make some noise and so on, and like then they have their ridiculous mini tifos that's organized by the club, and like we score and nothing happens. It's like, dude, like, if you want your fans to go crazy, like, play better football. Play better football. So yeah. Josh Truguner, Arsenal fan. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll keep the name. Let me like copy and paste this one then. Yeah. Okay, got it. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's still early anyway. We've got a few weeks. For us, the focus is gonna be on getting all of our players back in the right fitness level and the right shape. Yeah, like, I know, like the one with the ships was like, okay, I guess was better, but yeah. So for us, the focus is getting all of our players back. Luis Enrique has said it's pretty interesting because we're gonna have 2 weeks off between the end of Ligue 1 next weekend and the Champions League final. So they've already said that they're not planning any friendlies. They're not planning on traveling. They're probably gonna give some days off to the player. So I would expect next week in 8 days, players are probably gonna be off. I would say for like 3-4 days, and then they're gonna be preparing for the game in the campus, which I'm not entirely surprised because I think like literally, and we don't say it enough, but really important, we've got the best training facility in all of Europe right now. And it's a huge advantage that people don't talk about enough. So that's where we're going to be prepping for the final. I think it's going to be pretty much the same as last season. Try to keep the pressure down, manage the narrative, and go into it at full energy and ready to get the result. Anyway, yes, let's talk about the transfers. That was my next point. Perfect segment. Thanks, my man, Seismically. Did you see the Alvarez, Krupi, and Akliouche rumors? Yes, I've seen all of them. They come from Jamel, who, if you don't know him, like, I don't know what you're doing on this channel first, but so Jamel is like this guy on Twitter who's a Qatari, I believe, who's got links to the Qatari side of PSG. He's connected. He's a dude who's connected, and so he's on Twitter. And typically, like, he's a guy who knows, and he's a top tier source on anything PSG. And he's tweeted recently that. So first, he said like Akliouche is still a target for us. Conversations have been ongoing, and PSG want to get back to the negotiating table as soon as the Champions League final is done. And I think another thing that was said about him was that the player and his agent sat down with Monaco management and told them that they want to leave this summer and that he's only interested in Paris. I think that second part didn't come from Jamel, unless I'm mistaken. So that second part is separate. But essentially, yeah, you write in French, but I think I'm pretty sure he's based in Qatar. 99%, but yeah. But so Akliouche, yes, a lot of reciprocal interest, and I think yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to follow, and whether he goes to the World Cup or not could impact. Hopefully, he's not as expensive as the last summer, because I still don't think he's a 60 million euro kind of player. But if we can get him for like 35, 40, all good for me, honestly. So I'll be down for that. I'm not the hugest fan of the player in absolute terms, because I think he's got talent, he's got skills. Like, I'll give him that. You cannot deny the games he played against us in the Champions League, for example. He was really good and really annoying for us. But he's also been very inconsistent, especially this season with the not transfer last summer. It took him really a long time to get back into his groove. And I think, in a PSG locker room where, let's face it, like, he's gonna have playing time because there's so much rotation, but at the same time, you don't have 24 different opportunities to perform with Luis Enrique. And like, if you don't perform, like, yeah, you're out, and it's gonna take you a long time to get back. So it's not ideal in this context, but yeah, I think he's gonna be okay. Especially since I think Akliouche, for me, like, the way I see it is that I think it come in as a Kang In Lee replacement, and I think, like, yeah, it's like if Kang In Lee goes out, we're replacing with Akliouche, we're pretty much good. I don't see him at anything more than that. So we'll see if I'm right. The other ones, Alvarez was just today, I think, a couple of hours ago. So Jamel again tweeted that PSG is definitely interested in Alvarez, that Luis Enrique loves the player and is like an uber target of Luis Enrique, and PSG very much intends to be part of the race for the players this summer, which is funny because the same sort of thing came out earlier, but from Spanish media, and I was extraordinarily doubtful of it, because 99% of the time when you see PSG in Spanish media, it just means the agent of the player is trying to get a better deal, and they're throwing our name just to, like, or even worse, it's like Barcelona, they throw our name just to get their fan base agitated. It's like whenever they have a player who's going to extend his contract, or they've got a transfer target who's about to sign, they put in a PSG interest just to make themselves look better. So anything coming from Spanish media, I'm always doubtful, but now that it's coming from Jamel, yeah, it's more serious. And yeah, I think for me, there's two things on Alvarez. The player himself, no question. No question. He's world class. He fits the mold. He's exactly like the kind of tactically and technically like the kind of player that we like. No doubt in my mind about this. For me, the question is really more about the mentality. And ultimately, like, he passed on PSG, and I've got a really hard time getting over this. I've got a really hard time getting over this that when he left Man City, we were in the race for him. We were interested. That was the summer where Kylian went to Real Madrid. So there was a spot in our line of attack for him, and he chose to go to Atletico. Back then, I think, from what I remembered, because I've seen different versions now circulate, but like what I remembered from back then was that I think like his family had already moved to Madrid and wanted to live in Madrid. And so it wasn't even a sporting kind of decision. It was just like, oh, we want to live in this place, so you're gonna be playing there. And yeah, you had like all of the bad vibes with Argentina. I mean, he wasn't really part of it, but it's always like tricky. There's the whole like Messi was mistreated in PSG thing going on as well. I think like some time has passed, but yeah, I mean those things make me less excited about it. Um, and I think ultimately like a player like Akliouche, you can get him, and like even if Kangini doesn't leave, he's not a 100 million euro kind of player. He's not a big star. He's fine. Like he's not gonna complain. He's not gonna make noise. You'll be okay. A player like Alvarez, you need to consider like how he plays, where he plays, how much he plays, where do you get the minutes, and so obviously this season we've been like hit crazy with injuries. We've had so many of them. It's been insane. But it's kind of balancing versus the season before that where we didn't have any. So if you go back, let's say next season, we've got like we land somewhere in the middle of this. There's not that many minutes available, like that you can take from an Mbai or a Ramos or whatever it may be, especially in the big games. So for me, there's a question mark of like, yeah, like where do you get the minutes for him? And so I think my personal opinion is that Alvarez really becomes a reality if Barcola leaves. And if Barcola leaves, yeah, if there's a spot open in our top four attackers, then yes, we can go for like a 100 million plus player. Yeah, I think it'd be like more than 100 million. I mean, he's got a contract with Atletico. He must have at least 3 years remaining. They're not gonna sell him for cheap, even if he wants to go. And there's a few big clubs interested with deep pockets, and Barcelona. I don't know if Yusuf is still there, but like I'm gonna crack a few Barcelona jokes since he was there, just for the fun of it. But yeah, so we'll see. But I definitely think, and if he turns in a performance in the World Cup as well, all of a sudden he becomes 120, 130, 140, and you like see the thing go up. So we'll see. It's gonna be a question mark as well because I think financially I really like I've got to we'll have to see the contract extension of Dembele. I think that's going to be the big one. And ultimately, if Barcola leaves, what do we get for him? But yeah, I'm going to have to make my calculations because I like even going with the Champions League final, we're so screwed by not having any domestic TV rights that yeah, it could be a little bit tricky. But yeah, we'll see. I'll do that when we really get to the Mercato anyway. Probably like actually like I'm thinking because this week is going to be intense since we have 3 games in a week. But then we've got 2 weeks off before the Champions League final. So that's probably when we'll start talking a little bit more about, what Mercato plan should look like, my ideal Mercato, and so on and so forth. All that money they spend and still can beat Sociedad in the club. Yeah. No, that's fair. But at the same time, like, they're in the semi-final of the Champions League. That's money well spent as well, Like, I think they would definitely take defeat in the final of the Cup to get to the semis of the Champions League. And it's kind of a shame that they don't get to the final in a way. Um, I mean, like, could be worse. Could be like Marseille. Sorry, yeah, had to be done. Had to be done. The second budget of France with seventh in the league. Talk about money poorly spent. Getting a center back is more important. I'm still doubtful regarding Ilya. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm like, let's not get too far into it first, because like I can get dragged into talking Mercato for an hour. I kind of agree with you. I don't think like right now I don't have confidence in him being a starter, and so if Marquinhos at the end of the season says okay, it's time, yeah, it's we've got an empty spot there. A lot of Barcelona fans believe they got robbed against Atletico. Do you agree? Yeah, but like Barcelona fans, they believe they're getting robbed every time they lose a game. Maybe they should buy a defender or two and like stop bothering the rest of the world, you know? No, I don't agree. I don't agree. Like they get exactly what they like. Barcelona fans right now, they're literally like the best at being the best in the world, but not getting anywhere. Like, oh, we've got like Pedri is the best midfielder in the world. Oh, Yamal is the best player in the world. Oh, like Rafinha should have gotten the Ballon d'Or. Oh, okay, like Kubarsi is a generational defender. Yeah, but like man, like get to a final of the Champions League and then you can talk. Like as long as those players don't do it, my not my thing. Like simple as that. Do you think Barcola would leave? I really don't know. I really don't know. It's not impossible. Uh, I hope not. Um, I hope not because I rank the player and I actually like him and I think like for all of his obvious weaknesses in finishing and so on, is very unique in terms of the depth that he can bring to our attack. And I'm not saying like just the depth of having four players, but just like the runs at the back of the defense and being able to open spaces and take them on is very, very unique in that capability. And so I think if he leaves, like that's a gap that we'll need to figure out. Um, what's cracking me up though is that when I see people say like, oh, like so we're gonna get back to this, like this is gonna be their stream, but like, oh, Barcelona is chasing Barcola, makes zero sense to me. Liverpool is chasing Barcola, makes zero sense to me. Barcelona, I'm sorry, but like they play with their defense playing in the middle of the pitch. They're gonna buy a winger who's good when he can make run and he has like 40 meters of open space in front of him. It like tactically it makes zero sense, and they already have Rafinha playing the same position. It's like okay, Liverpool they spent like $500 million last season to buy literally like three different players who can play the left wing. Ekitike, Wirtz, like literally like $500 of players who can play the left wing, and now they're gonna bring Barcola because he's not happy, he's not getting enough starts in PSG. Makes zero sense. Like let's be serious. So we'll see, but yeah, it's like the mercato right now. It's just funny enough, Zabarni is the second. Yeah, I've seen that. Have you thought about the Ben White battle versus Quara? Yes, I think about it and then I laugh for a while. It's like, I've seen a video that's like some Arsenal fan posted of, oh, we need Jurgen Timber back because last year he pocketed Kvara. I think those guys are like pretty delusional about it, but yeah. Will Beraldo have a bigger role with his new position next season? Yeah, for sure. He's extended his contract, so he's gonna be staying. And yeah, I think like he could end up being a long-term project of Luis Enrique. I wouldn't be surprised. And like, you know, we haven't found anyone who can take on the position of Vitinha anyway. And Vitinha cannot keep playing like 60 games a season forever. So yeah, like it'd be good to have him. It's gonna be interesting to see if we end up going for Bouadi or not. That's gonna tell us a lot about what the plan is for Beraldo, because he was part of the rumors not so long ago, and he's a player that we've tracked for a long, long time, and that would be a direct competition. So that's gonna be the one to watch. I would like to know which legend you would choose to. Ah, yes, I've seen that debate. Such a great one. Which legend you would choose to carry the Champions League trophy onto the pitch this year? Last year it was Pastore. This year maybe Thiago Silva or Marco Verratti. So yeah, I've seen this. Um, it's funny because like for me, the first names that pop in my mind are actually like pre-Qatar PSG because like I'm an old fan. I'm a old school, and so I was thinking of David Ginola, who played in England. He got like the title of best player in England, but I think that's maybe too long ago, and most like football fan won't recognize him in a way. So yeah, if we go with the QSI legends, apparently Thiago Silva is out because he's still playing, so he cannot do it. Marco Verratti would be interesting. I'd love Matuidi, honestly. I think Matuidi would be great. Definitely would deserve the recognition. Thiago Motta could be interesting too, I guess, like to complete the midfield trio. Um, I think like Arsenal, everyone is kind of expecting it to be Thierry Henry, but I don't know how it would work because he's gonna be commenting at the same time for CBS, so I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it logistically. I think last season they had their studio like in the stadium, but kind of up in the stands. So kind of depends on this, but yeah, there's a few interesting names that I really wouldn't mind. Ekitike won't be playing until the beginning of yeah, but like you recruit players for 5 seasons, not for 6 months. Like, I mean, if you're a normally managed club. TBH, the first half of Arsenal's second leg was probably the most PSG has been dominated with. Wait, the first half in the Arsenal second leg was probably the most PSG has been dominated with the second leg last season and Bayern first leg. Yeah, 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 no, yeah, okay, sorry, like that was I was ranking the games in my mind. Yeah, for sure, like they came very close. Donnarumma saved our ass like more than a couple of times, um, and they got better. I think like honestly, their mercato last summer. Zubimendi I rank. Gyökeres is starting to hit his stride. He's a solid player. They've got an awesome defense, a great keeper. They've got Rice in midfield. No, it's like honestly, it's not an easy opponent. It's not an easy opponent at all. I think Gabriel will get exposed. He never gets a chance to defend space. Pacho and Upamecano are incredible. Gabriel and Saliba make a mistake due to our press in the final. Write it down. Okay. Felix Maris, writing it down. I've got no shame in calling out people, by the way, so be very careful. It's funny because like, so I try to respond to every comment that I get on the videos, but obviously, like, I'm not at 100%, it's just impossible. And I've got some old ones who have been piling up on some, like, old videos from the November to February window where we were really at our worst this season. And like, people commenting like, oh, this was a disaster. I don't know what Luis Enrique is doing. And like that player was so bad and blah, blah, blah. And like literally like once in a while they pop back in my ranking and kind of show up on my home page of like the creator page. It's like cracks me up. So maybe at the end of the season, I'll dig up a few like really really humiliating comment of some people and do a video about this. But yeah, it's always funny. Dembele against Gabriel Saliba, yeah. Pauleta, yes, I'd love that'd be a good one as well. Sure, Pauleta and Thierry Henry, the classy strikers, love that. Rai pre-Qatar. Yeah, Rai is working with PFC now, so like I don't really know if they do it. Verratti post-Qatar 100%. Yeah, Henry and Beckham. Yeah, but like Beckham, he did 6 months, but he's not really. I mean, in my head, he's not a PSG player. Honestly, like I love this 6 months. It was cool to have him, but I was like 38-year-old pre-retirement Beckham who was here for marketing. Like if you put it against a club legend like Henry, I think it looks a bit weak from our side. Midfield battle, Easy. Yeah, also like yeah, very good Easy. I'm not sure how you pronounce it actually. I say Easy, but I could be wrong. Well, being shit in the ball is very good. Holding the ball, yeah, no, for sure. He's like a kind of better version of Giroud, I think, in a way. Which is saying something because Giroud, like, despite the chatter, like, player I really admire. Think their goalie Raya is the most likely to make a mistake. Yeah, at the same time, he's like probably the best goalkeeper in the competition this year. So yeah, he can make a mistake, but his distribution is also like pretty on point, honestly. I was extremely pessimistic after Monaco. Yeah, I remember that. Chelsea weren't amazing, but everything also great stuff. PSG was so bad. Yeah, for sure. What about Ibra? Yeah, could be. I mean, could be. Why not? The thing about Ibra is that, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, okay, this is gonna come off wrong, but like, don't, like, hear me out. Uh, the guy is a legend. There's no doubt about that. But can you really be like a top tier legend for a club when you're a legend in 4 different clubs? That's my question about Ibra. Because ultimately, like, he's a legend in AC Milan, he's a legend in Ajax, in like a few clubs that he's played at, he's a legend. So it kind of bothers, like, doesn't bother me, but like, yeah, it doesn't feel like a PSG player. First, he's not only a PSG player. It's kind of like Ronaldinho as well. We're seeing, like, a lot of people look at him as a legend for PSG, even if he didn't play for us that long. But he's a legend for Barcelona. He's a legend for AC Milan. Like, he's a legend in a few different places. So yeah. Raya, exceptional keeper. Do you think Arsenal not facing crazy big team will affect them like a shock factor? Yeah, not impossible. I mean, they're gonna, yeah. The thing is, they play like crazy big teams in the Premier League. So like they've got that going for them. Ibra is a mercenary. You didn't really respect the club in some of his interviews. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. At the same time, like, I mean, it's probably like it's hard for us to measure like how different the club was back then. And I think for a player the caliber of Ibra going into PSG, uh, there was probably at the time a lot of things not to be respected for. It pains me to say, but like it was a different time and so on. Um, but yeah, and also like I think Ibra, from what I hear, you really have to put aside the kind of like media personality of Ibra. Like the big brash, like Ibra number one kind of thing. From what I've heard, second hand, third hand, is that he's actually like a really nice guy, very humble, very sweet, and like yeah, like no drama at all. So I think some of those interviews, it's more for the persona than like for the reality of who he is and what he thinks. What do you think about the new home kit? Honestly, not good. I don't like it. I mean, good thing. It's the Esther look. It's a blue, white, red, white, blue. So that part nice, but yeah, I think the stripes are too big. It looks like a sort of weird French flag. It also, I don't know why, but like, let me know what you think. But like, it looks really wide. Like it looks like it's kind of floating in the wind around the players. So I don't know. I don't need like the skin tight jersey or anything like this, but I don't know. It looks very wide. It looks weird. Really like the kit, even though the white stripes are a bit too thick. Yeah, I mean, like to each their own, you know. I'm considering right now. It's funny. I never do it I don't buy the jerseys at the beginning of the season. It's kind of a weird superstition I've got. But last season I bought the home kit just before the Champions League final, and so like I'm gonna buy a jersey this season. And now, like, I'm considering which one to get, which is also going to be a factor of availability where I am. But yeah, I'm thinking I might get the second jersey, so the white one with the Eiffel Tower, which we've been using for 2 seasons, but I kind of like it. Honestly, I like it more than the home kit this season. Or otherwise, if I find the night one that we use in Munich, I'm probably gonna get this one. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, too baggy. That's what I thought as well. It's a bit to be like those early two. Yeah, no, like I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it. I know that's the intention, but yeah, like it is what it is. Um, Anyway, I think I'm gonna close soon. Anything else that we needed to talk about? I don't think so. So we've got Brest later on tonight. Hopefully to almost seal the deal on the title. We'll do a debrief tomorrow. Stay tuned for more of those live. By the way, like I really like I want to get into a cadence of doing something like this every Sunday around this time, where we have a chance to kind of like talk about whatever is going on that day, but also like go back and forth a little bit. So really stay tuned for that. If there are people who are watching this who haven't subscribed to the channel yet, damn man, like subscribe to the channel already. Like seriously, like the video if you haven't yet. Drop a like on this live, really helps. Share the channel with your friends, your PSG fan clubs, colleagues, tweeters, whatever it might be. I'm actually like, so for context, I'm getting to, I think, 700 subscribers, which is freaking amazing. So first, like, thanks to every one of you. Really appreciate that massively. But I'd love to like see that grow and kind of like I've got a soft target in my head. Like essentially, when you get to 1,000 is when like you start getting some of the money back for the ads. So I'd love to obviously like try to get to that. And so that's kind of the numbers that I've got in my head. I don't know if it's realistic to say like in time for the Champions League final because it's really not that far. But there's gonna be like this, and we're gonna have the Mercato. There's gonna be the World Cup this summer, which I plan on covering. Like, there's plenty of things coming up. So like, share the channel. Let's grow it. Let's subscribe if you haven't. Like the video. And yeah, like just like last one because before I close. Will Mbappe leave? I don't know. I don't think so. Score prediction. I said 3-0 for Brest. For us, I mean, for PSG against Brest. Yeah, Mbappe more than Mbappe. I was like, will Mbappe leave? Like, what are we talking about? Mbappe leave. Not impossible. Honestly, not gonna cry if he goes. But yeah, like, not impossible. Don't have any particular information on this one. Any plans of collaborating with PSG, no speaking creator like Junior and Extra? Yeah, I'm pretty open with collabs. I'm not like necessarily seeking them out unless like there's something specific to talk about. But you know, always looking at them, always open to them. I'm in a weird time zone, so typically that's where it makes things difficult. But yeah, Arsenal West Ham officially kicks off, so let's go see that. Do a video with Junior, but if Josh True is a good friend with Zier, yeah, like there's a few like Zier as well. Like we've tried to do like more like me being part of his group collabs, but it's yeah, the time zone are weird, man. Collabs with other creators. Yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, True Gunner. I've wrote this written down. Okay, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off. Let me put up this. Thanks so much for watching this. Whether it was during the live or if you're watching the replay, good fun. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified. Do all of those things. Let me know in the comment your predictions for the Brest game. And yeah, don't forget, as always, ici c'est